USPAP 7-hour national update course, 2022 through 2023. Chapter 5, where does the answer to your question live? Quiz. Number 1, you are using the search feature in the USPAP and are searching for the term intended user. What are you likely to find? Ready, set, go. A, the term does not appear in the current USPAP publication. B, there are only 2 search results, so it helps you focus the search. C, the term appears in USPAP but not in the advisory opinions or FAQs. Or D, there are so many results that in that search isn't helpful. I'm going D. You answered correctly. Good job. So, remember, number 1, you are using the search feature in the USPAP and are searching for the term intended user. What are you likely to find? You said, there are so many results that the search isn't helpful, and that is correct. Number 2, 2 weeks after transmitting an appraisal report on a residential property, an appraiser is contacted by the client asking that the appraiser change the borrower's name on the report. The original borrower, who was not identified as an intended user in the assignment, which statement is true regarding this situation? Ready, set, go. A, the new borrower becomes an intended user after the appraisal revises and retransmits the report. B, the appraiser would potentially violate USPAP by complying with the client's request. C, the appraiser may change the name and retransmit the report with a new date of report. Or D, the request changes the scope of work and therefore creates a new assignment. It's either C or D, C or D. Oh, I got it right. Good job. I went C. All right, so remember, 2 weeks after transmitting an appraisal report on a residential property, an appraiser is contacted by the client asking that the appraiser change the borrower's name on the report. The original borrower was not identified as an intended user in the assignment. Which statement is true regarding this situation? You said the appraiser may change the name and retransmit the report with a new date of report, and that is correct. And lastly, number 3, an appraiser is working on an appraisal assignment for a mortgage lender client. The client requests 2 front photos, 2 rear photos, 2 street scene photos, and a photo of the property located directly across the street. How would this request best be classified? Ready, set, go. A, as a client condition. B, a hypothetical condition. C, an assignment condition. Or D, as an attempt to influence the appraiser's valuation. Híjole, I'm going to go with client condition. Oh, I got it right. I wasn't 100 on that one either. It was either that, a client condition, or assignment condition, but a client condition sounded more accurate. So remember, number 3. An appraiser is working on an appraisal assignment for a mortgage lender client. The client requests 2 front photos, 2 rear photos, 2 street scene photos, and a photo of the property located directly across the street. How would this request best be classified? You said as a client condition, and that is correct. Chapter summary. Page 16. In this chapter, we provided a systematic process for using the USPAP publication to answer questions. Number 1, define the problem. Number 2, identify sources for solutions. Number 3, conclude the answer. The appraiser may need to ask themselves several questions in order to define the problem. The problem definition sets the stage for the appraiser to move to the next step in the problem, which is identify sources for solutions. In effect, the appraiser asks, where does the answer to the question live in the USPAP publication? This question is not as simple as it may first appear. The answer to this question may not be immediately evident, or the answer might live in several different parts of USPAP or in the guidance. It is also important to note that not all appraisal-related questions can be answered using only the USPAP publication. USPAP does not address permitted activities for state credentialed appraisers, nor does not address the qualifications to become licensed or certified as an appraiser. It also does not provide appraisers with a tutorial of how to use appraisal methods and techniques, and does not advise appraisers as to the format, or style of an appraisal report. To be able to answer difficult USPAP-related questions, it's imperative that you analyze them carefully so that you understand all the details specific to the circumstance that has caused the question to be raised in the first place. In most cases, before you can answer a question, you may likely need to think about its background details. For instance, what is the situation that inspired the question? To be able to understand where to find an answer. We also demonstrated how this process works by answering an example question regarding a request to change the borrower's name on an appraisal report that had already been transmitted to the client. There were several parts of USPAP that were researched and consulted, including the definitions, the scope of work rule, advisory opinions, and FAQs. In the example question, it was determined that the request does not affect the scope of work for the assignment, assuming the borrower was not an intended user of the original appraisal. Therefore, the request can be honored by the appraiser when transmitting the revised appraisal report. The appraiser must be sure to revise the date of the report. End of page.